I hope this does it right. Hello and welcome to the Vogue Black Girls Podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
Hello, Kim.
Hi, Aries. So it's a new month.
It is. How are you?
I would like to say, okay, so I've been on up and up, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part. Still maintaining up and up. But today I had a moment.
You had a
And
moment?
I woke up. Yep, I had a moment. And I woke up and I was like, I'm so over it, right? I'm like, we are recording from our respective homes. And I'm like, I just miss coming over recording in the studio.
I know. That
So
was our
I'm like,
bonding time.
right. And I feel like planning is better when we're both physically together.
It is.
Right.
Because you feel like you're
Because
on a
I
work
felt
call.
yes.
It's like, this is not work. This is fun. And it's like, get your mind off of things and all that. I feel the same way, though. I feel like
I miss you making me tea.
my tea is the bomb. It is bomb.com. Yeah, it's different. It's not the same. I feel like I'm starting to get that way. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that we're trying to do the right thing, like I would have been like, girl, come over here and record because we both been
Right.
quarantining. We don't
Right.
need to social distance. Because these churches have not been social distancing. I'm sorry. I'm watching them. I know we're doing online services and stuff, but like, okay,
They're pretty
so
close
y'all on each other though. Like, yeah.
during
So
praise and worship.
and those little skits and stuff. So I'm like, I mean, if they trust each other, we can trust each other too. Because I am ready to like get back to being back together.
I am too. And you don't know when or what that looks like, right? So here in Texas, they opened things up on Friday,
They
May
did.
1st.
Mm-hmm.
And they partially open some stores, right? So 25%, or not even some stores and some restaurants. And some
Yeah.
restaurants have opened and some have chosen not to open.
Because they said they
But
have to be at 25%. They only can be at 25% capacity
yep,
max inside. And some places are saying like it's not worth
it's
it.
not even worth it financially.
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you that personally, I do like the curbside service, especially the drinks. I did it this Friday. I had a drink,
You had a
curbside
curbside
service.
drink?
Yeah. And so I know the governor had said, oh, this might be a good idea. But then I thought about it. I was like, no, this is not a good idea because people will drink and drive.
But see, that's like other places, typically they're gonna have, like for instance, the daiquiri shop in
Right.
Louisiana. You can drive through daiquiri in
This
Houston
is
and
true.
Louisiana, and they just make you put a tape on
A
it. I mean,
seal.
you can easily
Yeah.
drink or drive anytime, but
This is true.
what kind of container did they have it in?
Oh, it was in a regular to go container.
Oh,
Yeah, so it wasn't anything special. So I mean, like sip. I just had an Arnold Palmer, so it wasn't like with some liquor in it. So it wasn't.
this whole time I'm thinking you talking about some liquor. You over here talking about a regular drink?
Well, it had a little liquor in it. I had
So
them
it
add
still
some
was.
liquor.
Oh, you added that don't count. Yeah, if you add it in, then that's different. Because yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, I'm not ready to be out, and honestly, I have not really seen people wearing their masks the way they need to, other than like when I go to Walmart to pick up groceries from um the pickup, grocery pickup
Mm-hmm.
thing. Those workers have their masks on. They're not coming to the car asking you to sign your name anymore. They
Thank the
just,
Lord.
I'm like, why were we
Yep.
doing that in the first place? But I guess,
Right.
I mean, it's not like you're gonna tell whose signature it is, anyways. So yeah.
Yeah, I always have my mask. I purchased a special custom Chicago Bears mask. I knew a friend, she was selling them. She was like, "Hey, I got some Bears masks." So
Nice.
I'm actually liking the mask because you can kind of have your personality show or what team you're repping.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw Disney is actually selling a 4-pack of masks, so like of the characters. So I think they had like Black Panther. They had it all mixed up, and
Mm-hmm.
so you can buy a 4-pack for your family. And so I see a lot of people monetizing off of. a
I've seen a lot
mask.
of masks too. I just ordered my dad some,
Oh, good.
49ers one.
Oh,
They had different kind. They have the kind where it's like you can pull it up like this, like it's almost like it goes around your neck, and then you can pull it up around your nose like this, so it's quick and
uh-huh.
easy. And then they have the regular one. So I got it's a mix. I got one
You
for
have
like
to
every
send me
day of
the
the week
link to that.
because I know he's not gonna be able to wash them every day and all that. So I'm like, I'll
That's
get you
true.
like 5,
You are such a good daughter.
and then thank you. I
I
try.
mean, you really do take care of your parents really well, which kind of goes in line with our theme today, right?
True. Yeah.
So Mother's Day is this upcoming Sunday. I didn't realize it was coming up this soon. I think we just lost track of
It
time.
snuck up on me for sure. I didn't know either.
Right. And so not only is it Mother's Day that's coming up, the month of May is primarily dedicated to mental health awareness.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I mean,
Which is
ask me how
we
I
need
am.
that.
I'm like, yeah, we do. I'm like, I'm over it. Like
Yeah.
I'm sheltering in place, staying in place, going out as needed. I'm still okay with no networking. Um, and I'm actually okay with still being at home because for me, I am saving money. I am spending a
Yeah.
little. I am buying things online, I will say.
I'm
So
definitely
like
buying things online.
yeah, but I still feel like I'm saving. Like I just filled up my gas tank. I let it go all the way to E because I was like, I want to see how much it's going to
Where you
cost to
been
fill up my
going? Why your
tank.
gas tank already on E?
Well, because I dropped Kiara off for little errands, right? In the city,
Mm.
local. So it was $20 to fill it up. And
It
we
was like
drove to
a
Arlington
dollar.
yesterday.
What was it,
Yeah.
like $1.36 or somewhere
22,
around there? A
something like
dollar.
that. Yeah.
Dang, it
Well, you
went
know
down.
what? That was regular. So I think mid
I
grade was
use
like
regular
130.
child. I use regular.
I'm not. I'm mid grade. I'm a mid grade
I'm
chick.
regular. My little Toyota Camry. I remember when I had that Lexus. I was being fancy. It was
Premium.
premium. I'm like, you know what? I'm not. I'd rather be basic. Like that Kevin Hart joke. You messing with them basic? Yep,
Right.
that's me. I'll take regular gas. I'm good. So
Well,
yeah,
I use my Kroger points, so I think I got 10 cents off of my gas. So
that's
I
cool.
usually try and find reasonable gas. But yeah, I think we were drove out to Arlington yesterday. We were looking for something, and yeah, Arlington. So it was that's a good, a nice little drive. So we took that little drive out there. So that's why my gas was on E.
Got it. Yeah, I still have not gotten gas since like March.
Whoa.
I haven't been
Yeah.
nowhere, and everything I do is right here in a 2-mile radius. So,
Well, I will drive to the park sometimes, and walk depending on the time. So like I like to go when the kids are at school, so I get up early
hmm
or go late, before they go on the bed. I guess around bedtime,
hmm
just to
dinner
avoid.
time when everybody's kind of
Yeah, because I'm noticing that there are a lot of people out.
they are out here in these streets,
And
and
I'm
people
talking
have been
about
ready to come out, and they driving crazy. And guess what? Over here by my house, the last couple, like since this thing, not since it started, but probably this last month or so, what I've noticed on the weekends, like on a Friday night, there's drag racing. I can hear it
what?
on the 121. Yes. And I just saw an article the other day about people in Dallas, like somebody, they were drag racing on one of those streets, and somebody got killed. Somebody died.
No. Okay,
And I don't
I can
think it
see
was the
that.
driver. But I've been hearing it's like going fast. Sound like it's some Texas Motor Speedway stuff going on.
Oh my
Like 11
gosh.
o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning. Yep.
On the weekends?
Like Friday night or Saturday night.
Okay.
It just depends.
Yeah, that's not cool. I have also noticed that they are really driving erratic. And I'm like, where are you going? Only thing open is the grocery store.
I think people just
Yeah.
forgot how to
And
drive.
they're so excited to be out. Like Friday. So Friday was a big day for me. Um, I
Elaborate.
right. So Friday was my last day at a company that I have been with for 19 years.
Woo!
Yes. So I'm deciding to pivot in a pandemic. And a couple of coworkers surprised me with the farewell parade. So that's also why my gas is gone too, because I drove to the job twice. So I had one group of friends was like, "Hey, come take a picture," and she set me up. I didn't realize I was being set up. My good friend Diana, she was like, "I just want to take your picture in front of the Blue Cross Blue Shield emblem as your last day." So I show up and I get there, and I'm from Chicago. I like to back into my parking spots
Of course.
because I want to see what's going on
You
and
got to be able
who's
to get
coming and
out.
going. Correct. So I back in and I see two cars. And so I saw one of my coworkers and I text her. I was like, "What are you doing here?" Because the building is closed. They're not letting anyone in. So I was like, "What are you doing here?" She was like, "Oh, I'm just picking up a monitor. I got approval." And I was like, I'm smart, right? So I'm putting it together like, okay, why is she showing up? And I saw balloons, and then it would click like, "Oh my gosh, they came up here for me."
That's
So
so
they gave me a little farewell parade. Yeah. So, and then I went back again for a happy hour to meet another couple of friends. So I went. That was what 4 trips. If you think it was 2 trips, but 4 times. So that's why my gas was gone.
that's sweet. I'm so proud of you. I'm really happy. So
Yes.
okay, never mind. Are we gonna talk about that later? We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about that later, but and we'll get more into it. I won't necessarily disclose where I'm going just yet, but I'm excited for the new journey.
I am too. This is when you know like you have somebody you're is a real friend because was genuinely like
Yes.
excited for you. Like I'm like,
Asking
oh,
your mother to pray for me and
praying.
the
We had you on the
boys.
prayer list. Me and the boys prayed every night. We're like, Lord, and let them tell her quick because like I was anxious. I wanted them to.
Right.
I
I
wanted
think
to
you were
get.
more anxious than I was. She was like,
I
"Any word
was.
yet?" I'm like, "Nope, not
I'm like, I
anything
want
yet."
them to tell you. So yeah,
Yep.
it was great. I'm happy for you so much.
Thank you. So yeah, that was monumental for me, a big milestone to walk away from a company that I've been with for 19
And
years. Usually it's hard and most people don't walk away. They usually are laid off,
mm,
and I didn't want to be in that position, and I knew it was time for me to go.
they don't walk away; they get walked away.
This is true.
And that is happening to so many people right now that it's a blessing to be walking into something new right now. And that lets you
Amen.
know that God can do anything at any time when he wants to, how he wants to. Pandemic, recession, no matter what, he gonna make it happen. So congratulations.
Thank
We'll talk
you.
about that
I
later.
mean, I think we're both kind of like you got your job, right? At the beginning of
Thank
the year.
God. Thank God I got it when I did.
So the bold black girls are doing something right.
Y'all better start listening to us.
Not only listening, but actually
Apply.
applying.
Yeah.
Application is key. It
Application.
is key.
Because I mean, sometimes I've listened to so many podcasts over the years that I didn't necessarily apply right then, but sometimes it's just seeds that are planted that later on may get watered by somebody else. And,
Yep.
God makes the
And it'll bear
increase. So,
fruit.
yeah.
Exactly, he will.
So it was
So
a couple things that I wanted to talk about. Well, one thing that I
tell
wanted
me,
to talk about today that almost slipped my mind because it went by kind of quick and I hadn't been on social media yesterday. Did you see that video of Diddy?
partial.
Okay.
So you
So
tell me because I'm kind of limiting my social media too. I think we've been, although I have time probably, I don't have time.
I know it's a mixed situation because
It
you're
is.
working from home. Everything is being done in the front of the computer. Sometimes you just want to get away from it. Even your phones. Like my screen time went down last week. I showed the
Good.
percentage. So I was like, oh, good. That means I'm
Yes.
not all up on there. But anyway, so Diddy was on what's the it's a Naomi Campbell, the supermodel. Apparently she has a
Yes.
podcast and she had him on there and he made a very bold statement that had people their feathers were pretty ruffled. And I'm only speaking about the black community because that's what I saw, the comments from
Right.
was he was talking about the vote and everything going on with Joe Biden and the election coming up. And he basically put his foot down and said, you're going to have to earn this vote. The black vote is not coming for free. Like, I'm holding the black vote hostage if I have to, until you basically, you know,
Prove and
you have
earn
a
it.
plan for black people. Like, what is your, we're not just going to sit by and just be okay. Because right now, the way that we vote, we always kind of vote out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every election is like, well, we got to just get somebody in there. It's always the same. And then nothing ever changes, every time. So that's kind of what he was talking about. And some black folks was like, that's irresponsible, especially considering, who our president is right now. But like, we just need to get him out. And they're like, well, yeah, but when are we ever going to really just,
Get
not that we're
somebody in
not
that's
going to
for
vote
right.
against, but make someone earn it for once, where we have
Yep.
really put a lot of people in place, and we voted wholeheartedly for one particular party most of the time, instead of saying, you know what, we're not voting for nobody. Whoever is about our business, that's basically what he was saying. Like, whoever will
Get
do
the
our
vote.
bidding, that's who we going for. Um, so some black folks that kind of gave him a hard time about that. And then some that was like, yep, I agree. And let's see what they're talking about first. At least make them work for it. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm very interested to see how this election ends up turning out, because I think a lot of people are kind of like, with everything that's happened with this coronavirus, is like, we just need to get this fool up out of here. Like, kind of,
Right.
that's the energy that's out there. And then also you got some that are like, we're here, we are again picking from the worst,
Slim
kind of
pickings.
situation. Um, and yeah, I would pick Joe Biden over Donald Trump either way. But, it's kind of hard when you don't have any demands or anything that you're making someone kind of, just like if you're in high school and you want to be the school president, you're putting your bid out there and saying, here's what I'm going to do for
Right.
you so that you will give me your vote. That is how it typically works in politics. And we just be giving our vote, giving it away without getting
So
anything.
so really you're holding them accountable and, responsible.
Yep.
And I feel like that's what we have to do more in life anyway. Hold people accountable.
And really, it's really saying we hold ourselves at such high value that to get what I'm gonna give you, you gotta come with it. It's just like with a
Mm-hmm.
job, right? Negotiation. It's about saying, I'm giving you something and you're giving me something. It's a mutually beneficial situation. You get to become whatever you're trying to run for office for, and then I get what I asked for. So that's kind of typically how it works. But yeah, that was
And I
kind of,
love that. I
yeah, it was
love that
interesting.
artists are starting to pivot, right? Because in the past they wouldn't speak from a political perspective and use their influence. I love how they're starting to use their influence for impact as it relates to politics and how it impacts the Black community.
I think Barack Obama's presidency, when he was, um, we were all rallying around that, the excitement around him. He changed the game as far as the youth vote,
He
because he
really
came in
did.
there with that, you know, virtual life. He came in with the computers and the online and how to do it, and all the artists were vote or die, and all those campaigns were coming out. Beyonce and Jay-Z and all the,
The support.
celebrities and all that.
Yeah.
And then here we are. We went
Well,
downhill from there, but
and
we
I'm
need to.
interested to know, and this is going to be interesting when it comes time to vote, right? Physically, I know they are talking about taking votes electronically. Like if you have COVID-19, we have to keep a distance. Like, what does that look like?
I'm sure this is going to not go down without a hitch. Like, there will be something, because we haven't started. It takes time to put that stuff in place. There are states that don't have absentee voting.
Ballots. Yeah.
We get to at least do early voting. We can go in, at 7 o'clock in the morning if we want to, way
Right.
ahead of time, way week ahead if we want to here in Texas. But there's going to be a bunch of stuff. There's states now that they made people stand in line when this thing first started. Remember, for the primary,
Yes. Yes. In Houston, a guy
and
was
in
like, he stood in line for like 8 hours, or it was a long time, to the
and
fact that people had to bring food.
what was that place where I was at? Wisconsin. They had went in there, like, they went. in. They were waiting in line and all that. It was just crazy. It was controversy around that, but yeah. So we'll see how that pans out, and if more celebrities kind of, because some of them called him out, like it's just different people have different ways they view this whole thing, which I
Yep,
100% get both sides. Um,
I do
I
too.
think I'm more in the rebel side,
Of
so
course
I'm
you
with
are.
Diddy.
I'm all for going with the rebel.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what that was.
Yeah.
That was my.
So that's going to be definitely interesting. I want to see in November what that's going to look like because I'm hearing we might have another possible outbreak in the fall. So then how does that look?
Which
If
is
we
crazy.
quarantine,
We haven't stopped having outbreaks here in the Dallas area. We had a record number of cases
increase.
yesterday.
Yeah.
We have never went down. The CDC is recommending that you have 14 days of like no increases in the number of cases, and we've literally not done any of the things that the CDC says. Which is funny because Clay Jenkins, the judge, the county judge, he is like being super political when they were asking him questions at the press conference about going with the governor's orders, because when this first started, the governor was like, well, I'm leaving it up to the counties to decide if they want to close or not, right?
Right.
Then all the counties started. Dallas kind of kicked it off with shutting down. Then the rest kind of came afterwards. But when it comes to opening, he's basically forcing the open. So somebody asked Clay Jenkins about, what's up with that? Like, how do you feel about it? He's like, well, you just said it. Like, he didn't want to really go against. He's like, you said what happened. Like, so we're not going against what the governor's orders are. But as for me and my family, we're following what the CDC says. Like, we're
Wow.
continuing to quarantine. We're going to not be going to restaurant, sitting inside of a restaurant right now. It's okay. Like, this is not the time to go sit inside of a restaurant. He's like, you need to just continue doing what you were doing, picking up or whatever, and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm listening to what they talking about. I'm staying my butt right here in this house.
You
So,
and me both. You and me both.
anywho,
So, kind of pivoting there, we can learn a lot from this experience, right?
yes,
And I feel like with this extra time, like I said, I was limiting my time on social media and trying to figure out ways there where I'm increasing my aptitude in something or reflecting. So for my mental health, I have a journal that I'm using now for the next 100 days, where I'm just going to journal everything that's going on. And really, this journaling has been good and just reflecting. And so, in
yeah.
addition to journaling, we are now reading a new book,
Yes, we finished relational intelligence last week.
which I
Now
think
we're
prepared
on.
us for this new book.
It did, because honestly, when Pastor Michael Todd and Dr. Darius Daniels, when he was talking, he had him on. Michael Todd had him on his YouTube page talking about relationships, and that's how I found out about him having his own book about relationships. Dr. Darius Daniels. Remember when he was on the
Okay,
YouTube?
yeah, yeah.
And then he was like, book. So then he's talking about his book. Okay. But you had already, we was on it. So we read that book, which was just amazing. I've
Phenomenal.
I've recommended it to like 3 people at least that'll be reading it. And so this book is more geared. I feel like it's perfect to read right afterwards. Exactly.
Relationship
Yes.
goals.
It's the perfect book to read after that, because I feel like the relational intelligence gets you ready. Gets you and how you view relationships,
And
how you
yourself.
manage your
Yep.
relationships, yourself. What kind of friend are you? What kind of person, who are you in your relationships? And then this gets a little bit more. So far, the first chapter has not been about really a whole bunch about romantic relationships. It's just kind of like setting the stage. But I think this one will be a lot more about romantic relationships, which I think still you can use in multiple ways. It doesn't have to just be really
Absolutely.
romantic. So that's going to be good.
And so that's our book of the month. We're both on chapter 1. And I'm not a slow reader, but I like to make sure I'm digesting what I'm reading. So
Yep.
I think what we try and do is we tap in with each other at each chapter. It's like, girl, did you read that? What did you think?
Mm-hmm.
So feel free to join us on that journey.
Yeah.
So far, this is like our third book thus far. Looks like we have
Third
a book of
book
the month.
this year.
Yeah, we had Amanda
Yeah.
Seals, Small Doses, Relational Intelligence, and now this.
Yep. True, true, true. It's good. I'm loving it. It's really helping me because it's in those times where I'm kind of like, okay, let me pick up the book and read. I might just be laying in the bed chilling or in the tub, or whatever. Like,
Right.
let me get this reading. So,
And I'll be honest, like that relational intelligence, that is like a nightstand. Like you need to
yes.
keep that as a reference book,
Yeah.
right? And because like we talked about, listening and reading is one thing, but application is a whole different ball game.
It's
So
a,
I am
mhm.
like, let me go back so I can apply what he's said in this book to help me, right? In alignment, aligning your friendships.
And it's a
So
part of
it's been
my
really good.
advice pack now when I'm talking to people and they're telling
Okay.
me about their, how people call us all the time and tell us about stuff. That's a part of my little arsenal now when I'm like, well,
I love it.
you may not have them in the right category right now. Maybe we need to think about realigning this relationship. I'm like, you helping me there. That's what reading, I feel like the beauty of reading and learning and actually trying to look for where you can apply it in your own life. It helps. This is why it's beneficial. This is why reading is like it's a part of building your knowledge base. And Pastor Todd
And
was
just
talking about
expanding. Yeah.
he was talking about how knowledge is light, like when they talk about like kind of translating those words in the Hebrew and Greek and all that stuff from back in the day. And darkness is ignorance. So I want to walk in the light. I want to be knowledgeable. I want to learn and then, apply all that stuff to my life so that I can help myself and other people around me.
Amen, Sister Webb Williams. Won't he do it?
Won't they do it?
So I think we're learning something. I would say I try to learn something every week, every day if possible. I may not learn something every day, but I will say I learn something every week.
Yeah.
So I know as part of our one of our new segments of learning and development, one of them is sharing with you all what we're reading. We're going to share with you what we did learn, right? What we've learned
Mm-hmm.
this week. So for me, I'll go first. With this whole experience of transitioning from a new job, right? Closing one chapter after 19 years, I've had people walk up to me and was like, wow, you're going to walk away after 19 years? I was like, well, I was in a long-term relationship. That didn't work. I walked away from that. So you have to be able to be adaptable to change, right? Not all change is bad. Sometimes that change is good and is good for your growth. And if I didn't do that, I mean, I felt stuck. I really did. I woke up one morning and I went in and I was just like, this is not for me. And it was just like the song you talked about when you talked about Kiara Sheard and her mom, The Will of God. And she said,
Mm-hmm.
when he say go, you gotta go. And it was just like, he was like, I'm opening this door for you. Go, Kimberly.
The safest place in the whole wide world.
She's gonna be joining our local choir once we get back to church.
Hey, they've been singing. They were singing. What was that Kanye
Oh
Sunday service
gosh,
today?
I can't remember, but
Oh my gosh!
I was like, what program are they using?
I was
What
like,
video?
are they
It was
all
really
just singing
good.
and they put it all together,
That was
or
pretty. I'm loving that.
they did a really good job? I'm trying to
They
figure
really
out
did.
how they
How?
did that.
I am too. I want to know how.
That was a song, though.
Yeah, it was. It was really good. So change is not always bad. I've also learned over this journey because I had been interviewing for the last 4 to 5 weeks during the whole pandemic when no one even knew.
Come on.
Um, I was having video interviews. So
Mm-hmm.
lessons can happen in a pandemic. I know people are being furloughed. Um, and I struggle with sharing that because I'm like, there's so many people that don't have jobs and that are struggling. And here's I'm getting blessed in the pandemic,
This is
but it's
my
just when it's your season.
season.
Yes,
This is
your
my day.
season. When it's your season, you gotta walk in it,
My
right?
season was
So
last year. I didn't have no job.
that's and look at you
I just
now.
didn't. I'm just blessed in the pandemic right now, but I went
Correct.
through my pandemic last year not having a
Right.
job, so
Amen. And
everybody
we
has
all
a time.
yeah, and I feel like, I worked at that job for 19 years and I didn't necessarily get the reward and recognition I felt that I should have, but God wanted me there at that time. And as one of my supervisors said, she said, Kim, that was your divine assignment at that time, and it was over with. And
Yeah.
so it was time for me to go, right? And I struggled during that season, even though you can be employed and still have struggles outside of work. There were times when I was like, why am I not growing? Well, I was attached to somebody, or somebody was attached to me, where he was like, I can't let you go with them
Mm.
attached to you. So I'm
Mm.
gonna have to detach them so
Come
you
on,
can go and
sister.
grow.
You better preach that.
So it kind of goes to also who you associate yourself with. Iron sharpens iron. So you were blessed, and I'm like, okay, her blessings then rubbed off on me
Come on,
over here.
he said you'll get the overflow. When you get the
Right.
blessing, my overflow is rolling over the people around me. Thank the Lord. Hallelujah.
So that's what I learned this week. It was definitely, and those are things that, like, during my reflection and journaling, I'm like, let me write this down, because as you know, both of us, we keep a lot of paperwork.
We do.
Remember I told you I was cleaning up last Saturday and I found all my old paperwork from
Yes.
over 19 years ago. And I'm like, oh, wow, I was making this. Like, just kind of reflecting like, wow, I started at the bottom.
Started from the bottom, now we're here. But yeah, that's true. And you know what? And that kind of goes into my learning this week too, is that detaching from people and how you can't go forward when you're holding on to something from either the past or something old. She's over there,
Millie Wop.
And so I was talking to someone about, they asked me about like my true love or first love or something like that, which I was like, well, I had a high school sweetheart thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But there was one that was like the one, and I know that I've held on to that ideal of who he was, because like it made me reminisce back on those days. And I actually found a bunch of emails from in my old email account that was like, I got like 180,000 emails in there. That's my spam thing. But I had I had a folder with his name on it that had all the emails and like letters he wrote me and all this stuff, which one day I will have to probably delete that to truly detach, which I'm just like, I want to delete
You
that.
really do keep everything.
I need that for like the book when I get ready to write the novel, so I can't write that.
Okay.
So I went and read through those, and it still had emotion attached to it. As I'm reading.
All these years.
I was feeling everything like, dang, no wonder I don't like none of these food. Like, I'm struggling, like I kind of struggle to be vulnerable and like attached in relationships, because I really never let that go, because it's still there. Like, if he knocked on my door right now, I'll probably just pass out or something. But so I realized that was still there. So I was like, oh, I gotta let that go. Like, it was like God was telling me like, this is it. And my friend who I was talking to about it, he was like, I got the answer. This is the problem right here. Like, not the problem, but he was like, this explains a lot about how you are with guys, right? And so I was like, what? Wait, he was helping reveal it to me, and then I prayed about it afterwards. And God was like, you're going to have to let go of this ideal. Like, you have this in your head of kind of like this, like recreating this.
Right.
And that's not what it's going to be. It's going to be something different. But you got to let that go first to get the other thing. And girl, today when Pastor Michael Todd was preaching that sermon,
I heard it was good.
Literally, he's talking to me. He's like, the whole thing was called Rip Up the List.
I heard.
That was the name of the sermon, okay? He's talking about you got to let that go. And I'm like, Jesus, you literally came down.
It came to give you confirmation.
And when I tell you, I just was like, okay, I'm ready to hear this now. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like or how it works, to really do that. But I'm like, okay, now that at least I'm aware, what do we say about the assessments and stuff? When you're aware of it, because I thought I had let it go. I thought I had closure. I thought I was done with it. But when I started talking about it and I looked back at the stuff, when I looked at the, things he wrote, I was like, no wonder. Because I felt like he had all the things, that he had created what that list was going to be for other people.
So he was like your baseline.
Yes.
What you were looking for in that, whoever that next person is.
Yep. And I wasn't finding it anywhere. I'm just like, kind of like, okay.
This is going to be interesting.
That's going to be interesting.
Tell you. COVID-19 is the ultimate cock blocker right about now. Okay,
I'm so glad I didn't have
because
nobody.
right, and honestly, it's like where have you been takes on a whole different meaning. I mean, you could get an STD and survive. You could get COVID and not.
Right. And you don't know what it's gonna be for you because you might get it. And it don't even take having sex.
Right. You could
You
just
just
breathe
coming
on
up in
them.
my face. Get up out of here. You
Correct.
don't where have you who you been breathing on? Who you been kissing on? Who you been
Who has been breathing on you?
exactly. So yeah, it's a whole nother level. But yeah, that for me was very big. And I don't know how it's all gonna play out, but I'll keep y'all posted.
Yeah, I'll be watching that journey as well.
Yes, girl. So
So we're
anyway,
learning and growing and I just leveling up. Even in a pandemic, I mean, you can still find an opportunity to grow and have blessings. Um,
yes,
2020 is not canceled out. We still have well over 6 more months.
we got time. It can be so much. We saw how quickly this changed.
Oh my gosh.
So ain't no telling how it's gonna be when we get the next few months, how that's gonna play out.
Yep.
So with this being our Mother's Day weekend coming up,
Yep. Let's talk about that Mother's Day on a lighter note.
right?
So traditionally, I'm trying to think, what are some of the things that you typically do for
Well,
my
we
Mother's
usually
Day?
take our moms to the movies
We do.
and get
Last
kicked out.
last year we almost got escorted out, not
Yes,
because of us, but because of our mothers. Hence
mine
the
in
reb-
particular.
hence the rebels. I think the rebel behavior. It started somewhere,
Yeah,
and we can't do that this year.
we cannot do that this year.
So we'll have to be creative, right?
So
Definitely, we definitely can't take our moms out because they're both older, and
compromised.
exactly. So you and I had talked about perhaps going to the golf range
Yeah,
because they have opened the golf range, the gun range, the ranges are open.
all the ranges are open. Gun range, golfing. Um, so I'm gonna wait till the next week probably
That
because
works for
we need
me.
to see how that looks first.
Watch the numbers.
Let's see what these numbers are talking about because we just don't know. So, but we did do something with our moms
Yes, we
for
did.
this week, and we what we did was we asked them. We took 3 questions and we both asked our both of our moms the questions. So we recorded it. If you're on YouTube, I'm gonna share it. If you are not, then you can just listen because I'm gonna share what they said. And I think we'll start with uh Miss Sharon. And first of all, they were on their best behavior.
They really were.
Can I
They
just say they were on their best behavior? Okay. So
and while you pull that up, I'll just say this: it's a blessing too, and especially in this time of pandemics, people are losing people. Even before, like it's a blessing to have our mothers because
yes.
everybody doesn't have their mothers, so I have to remember that sometimes, especially when I get frustrated with her, which is quite frequent. um,
Yes. Okay. So
she's
I gotta find the one that is the one that's highlighted right now. But yeah, so it's definitely something to remember when they get to acting up a little bit. We gotta remind ourselves. So here is Miss Sharon, and this is the first question that we asked. So hopefully those on the audio can hear this as well.
okay, mother.
Yes, daughter.
So we're doing an episode dedicated to our mothers, dear mama. So I have a couple of questions for you that I like to ask. All right. So the first one is, what did you think I was going to be when I grew up?
Well, it took a while, but you said you wanted to be a doctor, so I thought you were going to pursue that. So that didn't happen. But in junior high, you had to work with teams, and you didn't like working with teams. And I said, "Oh, that's what she's going to be." And the teacher said, that you were always put with young boys, and you were the one who took over the team. So I figured you would be working somewhere, working with teams because you so adamantly said you didn't want to.
Okay. Do you know what I do today?
Yes, you work with the team.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh my
And the
God.
killing part is I had never heard that story, right?
See?
And the killer part is that I was always put on a team with lazy people. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, do
God.
I attract that? Because that has been all my most of my career. I'm always put on a challenging team.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me find the one. This is, can you
Yes,
see?
let's hear
Okay.
Miss Janet.
Janet answered the same question. Okay, Mother. So,
Yes.
me and Kim are doing something for the podcast. We're going to ask our moms 3 questions,
Okay. Shoot.
and I want to see what you think.
Okay.
So, the first question is, what did you think I was going to be when I grew up? Did you ever think about that?
Always. Yeah, all moms think of that. I thought you were going to be a doctor because you
Okay.
were so smart.
Is that what you wanted me to be, or did you really think that?
Seriously, I really thought you were going to be something very extraordinarily, an extraordinary person because you were very intelligent as a child. Seriously.
Did I disappoint?
Absolutely not.
I'm just saying.
More so, it's not more about what you are, it's how you are. You're so much like me.
Of course.
Seriously, I mean, you're not a person that's easily manipulated. That was really, I wanted you to be, able to tackle any type of person in the world, regardless of what their background was.
Mm-hmm.
That was more important to me than anything.
Okay.
And then, no, definitely not disappointed.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. So that was the first.
I love Miss Janet.
Oh my gosh,
She was on point though. You're definitely extraordinary.
girl.
She got that part right.
I was thinking like, okay, so am I not extraordinary?
Right.
Okay, so here is number 2 with Sharon. I don't know why mine is all stopping and stuff. Oh, I gotta find it. I said y'all are
They're
being
hilarious.
super nice right now.
Right.
And okay, here it is. All right.
All right. So this is question number 2. So, the person I am today, who you know me to be the great, awesome daughter that I am.
You are.
Was I like this as a child?
Oh yes. I knew that you would take good care of me because I couldn't have a headache. You would always say, "It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with you." And still today, you say, "It's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with you." And I'm so proud of you. I am really proud of you. You don't know how proud I am. From the first moment that they laid you on my stomach, I loved you, and I love you that much today, even more. You have grown up to be a beautiful young lady.
Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, welcome. Darling.
Was I sassy?
No, you weren't sassy. No, no, you weren't sassy.
So what was I?
Well, quiet. You didn't talk, but that has changed tremendously. You didn't speak. I said, "Oh Lord, what's wrong with my daughter?" And then you started talking, and you haven't stopped.
Okay. I wonder where I get that from.
I don't know, but deep down inside, your father was like a little coming, quiet little coming, and I guess you get some of it from me, because I get that from my dad, and that has gone on through the Hope family.
Okay. She's so extra.
Oh, I love it all. It's the best. Okay, so then let me get Janet. Okay. Here we are.
She's so serious.
Next question is, the person I am today, was I this way as a child? Like, could you see the same traits from when I was
Absolutely.
What were you seeing like as I was a little girl? Mean? Am I mean now?
Yeah, that's the good part. Honey, because you were so tiny. And I was like, oh my God, this child was so skinny. And I was like, ugh. Then, but you were determined type of child, athletic as you got older, and I wanted you to be more so like a chameleon, able to, bob and weave, but girl, you are the same child, yes.
So mean, got it.
Not just mean, not just mean, but strong-willed, Lord. And God blessed you with Marvin. So.
Yes, he did.
Yes,
I got it back.
You understand motherhood. You should have a lot of compassion for me now.
I do.
Okay, go.
Oh man, she gets.
Oh my gosh.
So that was Janet.
She needs her own show.
She does. All right, so we're gonna do Sharon, her last question. Here we go.
So this is your third and final question. So, what do you like about being a mother and a grandmother?
What I like being about a mother, that I see some of the things that you have done with your daughter that I did with you, even though you do more because you're younger and at this age, and you have access to all of the Facebook and da-da-da-da-da. And you have done a beautiful job with your daughter.
Okay, so what do you enjoy about being a grandmother? Because you have one daughter and one granddaughter.
Okay, I can sit back and relax and see all the work of the deed that I did, that I see in you, that you have passed on to your daughter, and I'm quite sure your daughter will pass on to you. And I love seeing that you all are growing in the Word of God and believing in God, that all things are possible through God.
All right. Cake cutting, sis.
All right, then.
Sister Tim's. All right, so we're going to have some greens in there for dinner.
Right on.
And what else are you going to make for us?
Corn.
All right, what else?
Fresh okra.
Fresh okra.
Yeah, tomatoes, sliced tomatoes.
Okay.
Maybe some macaroni and
where
cheese.
are you from?
I am from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
She is a character.
All right, so then Janet's, I know why mine was stalling because it's in 4K. Okay. Janet.
They are just some OGs, aren't they?
They are. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Look at her.
Okay, next question is, what do you enjoy most about being a mom/grandma?
The best thing about being a mom/grandma is, and believe it or not, I modeled in high school, and I could have been anything. I always wanted to be a mom because, not to put my mom down, but I wanted to take all her positive and do better. I wanted to break a lot of chains in my family. When you came, talking about that, like with your dad, because usually we have a family of women, so
matriarchy.
Yes, much so, you know that, and very strong-willed women. So your father, I just pushed him into play. You're gonna learn this, brother. And I'm just I'm enjoying being.
What's the difference about grandmother and mothering?
I'm loving the grandma thing because I get a second chance to get it right. And but I'm still gonna be like I was with you all because I want them to learn from me. So those questions they're asking you now, be brutally blunt.
Yeah, because you're still not the same as you were with us.
No, I was sterner. I was more.
Yes, you were.
right. But with them, I understand more that it doesn't take that. It's more psychology type situation. And I have all these grandsons.
I know.
And I have 4 grandchildren. 4 grandsons. You know, you girls bless me. So I'm excited.
Okay, good. I'm glad that you're happy with it.
I am very so. Thank you for your.
She was like, thank you for your contribution.
They are a hoot.
Oh, Lord. So, yeah, we
Bold
can't
black OGs.
rated R versions of when they get on the camera because I got some of those videos too. And I'm like,
yes.
We can't share that right now.
And you know, I definitely have some that could be this own YouTube channel.
Yes, exactly. So that was fun. That was our bold Black Girls of the Week and our dedication
to our moms
for Mother's Day. So I think that was a good way to get ready to figure out what our call to action is this week. Do we have one?
Well, not really. And I would just say that in these times, if you have your mom, honor her. Even if you don't have her, do something to honor her, right? Yeah. Just appreciate who you have at this time and use that time to kind of reflect over the times that you did have with your mother and appreciate the ones that are here. So I have to do that myself better. I'm going to need to get better at that. Just appreciating her and not always getting upset.
And realizing that our parents are just, if you're a parent, you get this a little bit better now, but it's hard to look back and see what they were doing. But it's like they just are adults who had children and we were along for the journey of their life. And they don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I tell my kids all the time, I'm just trying not to mess y'all up, which I probably am, but I don't know. We'll see. You know, you never know until the end, you know, but you just hope that you give your parents a little bit of grace because they're literally just living their life and maybe they're not what you have as an ideal, but it's time to rip that list up too, right? And just what they are, appreciate what they are and take the good and take the, you know, take it all and just kind of get the best that you can out of the situation. I think because we do give our parents a hard time on like, you didn't do this and that. And it's like, I'm out here trying to live and survive in this world. You know, you just happen to be here with me. And I do I tell my kids, I'm like, look, I don't get that. I'm not perfect. I don't know how to be a mother. I'm literally being one with you. You're helping me learn how to be one. So congratulations. You get the first.
Exactly. And you just hit it. Grace, right? We talked about grace. The same grace you want extended to you as a parent, as a mom, you should extend to your mother.
Yep. And father. When we get there.
And father, yeah. I can't wait for us to do the daddy episode.
I know. We haven't had a dad episode yet because we haven't been 1 year. But guess what, guys? In July, at the end of July, beginning of August, is going to be our birthday. So we'll be talking about
I cannot wait.
So
hopefully we'll be off of the pandemic. We probably won't, but
I know.
Wishful thinking.
If not, we'll have a virtual party or something we'll do to celebrate our 1 year podcasting.
Yes, so exciting. So this is our Dear Mama episode, right? In addition. So thank you all for listening.
Yes, please rate and review the episode and the podcast. Go to boldblackgirls.com and get your Bold Black Girl t-shirt that I have.
Get it for your mother.
Get it for your mom. Oh my God, that is the best idea ever. Go online. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be discounting those shirts, huh? I didn't do that last week.
We can discount them for Mother's Day.
Mama's Day discount. And then you can be supporting the podcast at the same time.
Yes.
All right, so we are going to end it there, and we will see y'all next week. Have a bold week. See you later. Peace.